Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video, the F1 22 Driver Career with Williams, episode number 14 today for the Belgian Grand Prix of Season 1. If you missed the previous episode at Hungary, a painful episode, then you can of course check that out and subscribe to the channel and you see plenty more F1 22 Driver Career videos. But coming into this one, oh good, we actually got some R&D upgrades on the car. As well in terms of drag reduction, that's going to help, especially around down the Kemmel Straight here. As well, now looking at it, we have got the worst error on the grid though, which is an issue. But then we've also got another weight redistribution upgrade there as well. And I'm in an R-ing which one needs to go on next. As well, ERS sadly not ready. As well, we could go for engine power, but the engine's actually the best thing about this car. So we're going to go for major weight reduction upgrade because it unlocks a couple of things as well. So that was my kind of thinking, you know, to try and unlock those things, so then we can try and get R&D points off. We can look at getting R&D points for the other stuff. Just showing you quickly here the parts that I've used throughout this season. You know, obviously we've taken twice extra engine parts as well. You can see the gearbox is quite wearing, and now we know that it's been overworn by automatic gears. So hopefully the new patch we should be able to carry on. We're having a new gearbox for this race this weekend actually, because the other two are, well, there's two of them around and one is pretty worn as well. So yes, hopefully those issues will be fixed, but I've yet to try the new handling model. So again, spoiler alert, this episode is recorded pre-handling model. New handling model and new tyres. That's something we're going to have to try. Although Belgium might have to be a nice tester for me, because you know we're up here in P8. I have got low wings on the front, so sector 2. I've always been terrible through there. I'm just maximising my pace through sector 1 to make sure that I've always been terrible through sector 2. It's not just on any game, even last year's game with Pool 1 being OP for the AI. But you know, I'm yet to drive on with the new handling model, but the old handling model, this track is actually quite nice to drive. To be honest, we're up here in dropped down to P10 now as the AR starts to improve, but we are 2/10 up on our previous best times to come down the hill. Try not to too much. That was a little bit of a mistake there. I lost a bit of time there on that curve and took in too much of that curve. It's a flat curve which you can take there. Puon always get understeer through there. It's just the natural thing. You're going to end up going to Narnia and back through that corner. And then this corner, the AI are just going to be better than you every single time. Even on this year's game, they're still OP through that corner. And we've made it through this middle sector. We're slightly up on Hamilton as well. So this could be in a top 10, a very good time. And it's the same AI, by the way. The AI are not consistent from track to track. We'll have to wait and see if that has been reworked for the new update. But for the old update, they weren't consistent. So as well as we come through the final, the bus stop always going understeering on a pad, and then out the final corner and up the line, 5/10 improvement. I think that was P5. Yes, it was. How was that? How has that happened? How have we managed to qualify P5? As well as Ocon's got a penalty again. I don't know what for. Presumably because contact with Magnussen, because Magnussen failed to start set a time. But you know, yes or no, Albon isn't living up to his performance because his focus is getting lower by the minute. I mean, the last time I checked, he was on like 18 focus, ridiculously low. Lando's up here as well, so you know, although the McLaren is a good car, you know, better time to come. You know, we're not that far away from the top, so good time for us. See what we can do. 5th on the grid time for the race.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race that the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher in 1992. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of them to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track is a great one for fans of pure speed, and the average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles an hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Sainz, Phoenix and Norris, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Russell and Lewis Hamilton, Gasly, Tsunoda, Alex Albon and Ocon. They've taken a grid penalty. Stroll, Magnussen, Daniel Ricciardo and Mick Schumacher. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Vettel and Guan Yu Zhou. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Anthony Davison joins me once again in the commentary box. and it's fantastic to have you here with us today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Thanks, Mark, for those words of encouragement. We'll try. I think we can definitely try for points. Whether or not we can hold off for P5, I don't know. We've got like the Mercs, although they're struggling. You know, straight line speed pre-patch as well. So we'll see what they can do post-patch at Monza. 5 red lights, and away we go. And it's actually a good start. Again though, the AI with the second phase of the start, they were going to dive down the inside of Carlos Sainz, who's been caught with napping, but Sainz is going to out traction us, and they're going 3 wide behind us. I think that's Russell. It's Russell, Norris and Bottas. They're going 3 wide into Eau Rouge, and there's the contact we knew was coming, and I think Russell or Bottas, no, it's Bottas who's lost a bit of his front wing on the Alpha. As well as Sainz, we're past Sainz now in a straight line, and already on the back of Leclerc and Perez. Verstappen starting to run away, but this is a great start, and you know, showing Christian Horner what we can do. But we don't have the out and right pace, we don't have the traction as well. We do have low wings, so even though what you're going to see here on lap 2, Sainz, well, we tried to go side by side. DRS not yet enabled, so we won't be playing our games just yet, but that's forcing out Sainz through into Eau Rouge is going to allow Norris to have a go around the outside, the end of the Kemmel Straight, turns the inside. A lovely little move by the 4-year-old. Still going side by side though between Carlando, and they're going to go down the hill. Can Norris get this round the outside of Sainz, which will turn to the inside for the next corner? Lovely little move as well. Great move by the McLaren, and the McLaren is now all over me on lap number 4. Sainz fallen behind. Did he get contact with either myself or Norris in those exchanges? I don't know. Maybe he's got floor damage or something, which is why he hasn't probably pit. But Norris is catching up to us as well. And for us, we're coming in the end of lap 4. Norris is going to continue on as well. Verstappen as well. Perez is in. Perez, he's not looked that great, you know. He hasn't won a race so far in this career mode. To be fair, Sainz even has won a couple of races now. Even though he isn't having that much of a consistency compared to Leclerc, who's way out in front of the championship. But you know, for Perez, he needs to improve, especially, you know, we're putting in the performances. You know, the AlphaTauris are doing Okay, considering the fact their car's just as dreadful as the Williams. But anyway, jump back to the action. Jump into lap at 7, and we're gonna start playing some games here with DRS because we've let Norris past it. We probably could defend from him in a straight line with DRS, but just look at this. This is just easy, so easy. With the low wings we've got compared with DRS, we're not even using ERS, we're just able to breeze past. As we're looking at the race to the lead, Verstappen coming out the pits, his tyres are cold on the hards, and Leclerc has got in front for the race lead. That is not good for Verstappen's championship, as well as Sainz is now falling into the clutches of George Russell. Who didn't have to pit for damage. It was Bottas who had to pit for damage on lap 1 in that free wide moment. But Sainz is definitely going backwards. And shout out to Gasly, by the way. The AlphaTauri, yes, their focus is probably about 4, but the AlphaTauri is a terrible car, and yet he's actually in P10 right now and keeping his own there. So, you know, if we go there next season, then there is a chance of getting some decent points there and upgrading that car further. But again, lap number 9, same thing again. Let Lando pass before the DRS detection point, and again on the Kennel Straight we're going to breeze past because he's got absolutely no chance of actually passing us. As well as we're going to watch Kevin Magnussen. He's at the back of the train, headed by Gasly for P10. So he's on a cave in the back of the grid, but he's had a spinala and he's in the wall. He's kept it going though, so it's great. Good job to keep it going, but he's lost his front wing, so that's surely going to be last place. As Norris has a go for a ROUGE. We go wide there, so I don't have the downforce to keep it on the track there, but you know, we had the position anyway going into that, and we're able to keep the position. But again, lap 10, letting Norris past here. You know, he's slightly forcing my pass. Again, he's slow through ROUGE, and you know, out of ROUGE, just look at this. You know, we're just able to, because it's not a traction zone out of ROUGE and Radion, you're just able to fight the AI, which is actually quite good compared to some of the other tracks that we have on the calendar that are just OP, as you do the same thing on lap number 11 and are easily able to move ahead back to P4. So we're now on the final lap here, again 25% race, 11 laps. It is actually on this final lap as Norris has a go down the inside. We actually have to take evading the action to block that move from happening, but it is now raining here. You might just be able to spot it on the halo. There it is. Norris down the inside onto ROUGE. There's a little bit of contact. We kept it on the track this time though, but that's, you know, it's not really an overtaking spot. But you can see there the rain is getting heavier. There's the first spots on screen now as well. So this rain wasn't actually forecast, I don't think. So you know, that's a little bit of a new thing for unforecasted rain. Tyres, you know, 32%, so we might a tyre upgrade is on the cards, but probably, you know, there's other stuff that I want to do in terms of performance, because it's not a major factor. And you know, especially the fact to turn carcass temperatures off, which was the main issue that I was having as well. So for that, P4, I will definitely take that. You know, the hard work was done in qualifying, but keeping Sainz and mostly Norris behind us. Yes, that McLaren is a lot slower than the Ferrari, but keeping them behind us for lap after lap, making the setup, I'm very happy with that result. Best result of the season so far. You know, and we're actually, in fact, our fastest lap was comparable. Maybe we needed to put the AI up a bit. To be honest, that might be a note for next year. But again, the problem I have is the AI are not consistent from track to track. You know, they're similar AI to be running all year long, and they're struggling. So I have to see what the AI like with the new handling model. But those points are going to be crucial in our drivers battle with Norris, and we're only 4 points behind him now, and up to P10. Sadly, constructors still P8, not looking anywhere near. As we got, guess what, we got another marketing event, and guess what they're going to ask for a rival. I would like to have another department event other than asking me for a rival. I don't particularly like the rival system, to be honest. Personally, on the F1 game, but so that's why I don't pick one. But I might just pick one anyway. But bearing in mind we're in a Williams, you know, Alonso is still scoring points. Ricardo, yes, he hasn't scored points. You know, Norris, we have beaten him. But you know, Norris is on fire. He's got three fifth place finishes this season. You know, and he's had some bad luck, as his AI tends to do in the F1 game. Excuse me, and not being able to secure those consistent points. And Ricardo's been woeful. So you know, Ricardo, out of those three, Ricardo will probably be the one that we pick. But if we have to, but bearing in mind that McLaren probably has got upgrades to come as well. So yes, that's where I'm going to leave it today's Driver Career Mode video. If you haven't enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe channel, and you see plenty more F122 Driver Career Mode videos. The Dutch Grand Prix will be out tomorrow, not as good as today's video, spoiler alert there. But until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.